Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, October 5th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. Heidi Petito can remove the word interim from her title. She's now the new permanent Flagler County Administrator. The Flagler County Commission voted unanimously in her favor after a surprise motion made by Flagler County Commissioner Greg Hansen at the end of yesterday morning's meeting.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I have a motion to make. I move that we, with regard to Ms. Petito, that we remove the interim designation, 1. 2, that we stop any search for a county administrator, and 3, that we direct the HR people to develop a new contract for Ms. Petito.
Commissioner Andy Dance supported Petito in the vote, however was not a fan of the surprise motion.
I mean, I'd rather have seen it come forward as an agenda item and maybe even have a review, some formal reviews so that she has some constructive thoughts in moving forward.
Commissioner Joe Mullins appreciates the job Petito has done so far as interim administrator.
You've done a phenomenal job. You're as great as Jerry it was. All I need to hear is a few better than I deserves, and I feel like I'm back with him. But you've done a great job, and you've really been, the staff and everybody's continued to be very happy. I'm excited that we are closing that ambiguity and making it a permanent position.
Heidi Petito has been working for Flagler County since 2005 and took over as interim county administrator after Jerry Cameron stepped down in July. As Flagler schools see other funding sources reduced significantly, Superintendent Kathy Middlestadt says they're seeking to double impact fees in order to meet growing demand.
The impact fee is the one funding source that's left for a school district to really be able to account for and utilize in the future only for that purpose, for managing the growth.
She says the data shows historically the school district's growth has been flat because schools were so large and able to absorb the trickling in of students.
We're moving our 6th graders from our elementary schools to our middle schools because our elementary schools now can have the capacity to hold on to those K-5 kids for a number of years going out. But our secondary is where we're going to have some challenges moving forward. And we got a plan for that. And you can't just do that overnight. So when you talk about this year alone, gaining over 200 new students, that's significant. And if that continues to be a year-over-year roll, all of a sudden within 3 or 4 years, we need to build a new school. We need to be able to budget for that.
She says moving 6th graders puts elementary schools in good shape, but
both Buddy Taylor Middle School and Indian Trails will be very tight with their capacity. And you know how large our flagship high school is, Flagler Palm Coast. We're pushing 2,600. And Matanzas is now really catching up. Our Belterre Elementary School was one of the largest schools we had to add teachers to over the course of the summer because new people are moving in.
Hear the full interview with Middlestadt on the Free for All Friday podcast, available on the Flagler Radio app. Deputies call him a serial offender with nearly 24 felony charges on his rap sheet, and now he's back behind bars, this time with no bond. Amy Cherry reports.
Deputies arrested Michael Rivera Friday after they say they found him in a stolen vehicle heading south on Railroad Street in Bunnell. Sheriff Rick Staley.
The vehicle then began driving recklessly to flee from deputies. Stop sticks were deployed multiple times and ultimately flattened 3 tires. The vehicle eventually came to a stop and deputies arrested the driver.
Staley says deputies found drug paraphernalia in the vehicle. Rivera faces a host of charges including fleeing and eluding law enforcement, grand theft auto, and drug paraphernalia possession. He's also in violation of his parole. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Some of Flagler's first responders get a special recognition at the state capitol. Karen Johnson has details.
Florida State Representative Paul Renner, who represents Flagler, St. Johns, and Volusia counties, invited the Palm Coast Fire Department Honor Guard to present the nation's colors on the House floor at the Speaker Designee ceremony in Tallahassee recently for the first time ever.
They really just did make it a special event. This is the designation ceremony to be Speaker Designate for the upcoming cycle after next year's election for the following 2 years, which would be my last 2 years. And so having them there, 400 or 500 people there from all across the state, really made it special.
In his address to the Florida House of Representatives Speaker Designate, Renner stated that first responders put their own safety at risk to save ours, and we will always have their backs. The Palm Coast Fire Department Honor Guard was established in 2001 to represent the members of its department, their families, and the citizens that they protect and serve during formal occasions. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Local members of the fire service are recognized by county officials. John Arking has more.
At the Flagler County Commission meeting Monday, there was a proclamation to acknowledge October 3rd through the 9th as Fire Prevention Week. Flagler County Fire Chief Michael Tucker.
Fire is a pretty significant issue that probably is never going to go away. As much as we would like it to, it never will. But our number one job as firefighters is to prevent fire. And that prevention comes even before the response to fires, because if we can prevent it, it saves lives, it saves property.
Also speaking was Flagler County Commissioner Andy Dance.
I know the risks involved with your job, and yesterday was recognized as National Fallen Firefighter Memorial Day. So just wanted to mention that as well and honor those who've lost their lives in their line of duty.
And Flagler County Commissioner Dave Sullivan.
I just say that every day on the news, someplace someone is dying in a home fire. So the danger is there for both those people and yourselves. So we always appreciate everything you do.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arkin.
Part of the Homeward Bound program through the Flagler County Sheriff's Office is letting inmates get jobs after they leave the facility.
There is a vinyl graphics application program that teaches inmates a skill that can take them places. Lou Maselli is the commander of the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility. He said the program gives inmates a skill that they can take when they leave the facility.
It's a program where they've learned how to use a printer, a laminator, and also a cutter. So they're able to see the designs being printed up, and then we laminate it, which protects it against the sun's rays, and then we cut it so that these designs can be applied onto the sides of the vehicle.
Maselli said he had to learn the trade himself with a couple of the inmates who had experience with the machinery. Common Ground is on every Sunday morning at 10 on WNZF. The podcast is available on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, inmate Christian talks about his skills and possibly opening a business one day. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.